Hi everybody, happy Witchy Wednesday. I get a lot of questions about what I mean when I say I have dragon's blood infused into some of my products. I obviously don't mean these folks. I'm talking about this resin, which comes primarily from a couple of trees that grow off the coast of Africa. Here's a Dracaena Draco. These leaves are a little bit more floppy up at the top of the trunk, and he's from the Canary Islands. And his other cousin, who also produces this resin, is called Dracaena cinnabari, which grows in the Socotra archipelago in the Arabian Sea. You can see they're very tall trees when they mature, with puffy clusters of leaves at the very top of a long bare trunk that are going to be pokey and kind of spear-shaped. And they're valued for this dark red resin that comes out of them when the tree is abrased or cut. And that is used medicinally for a whole bunch of properties, from anti-cancer to antibacterial and a whole bunch of other helpful stuff. It's also used to help empower spells or to make something more strong when you're using it, and for protection and psychic clarity as well. The issue that we're finding with harvesting this resin is that these trees are ecologically significant to the territories they grow in, because those tall tufts of leaves actually gather the horizontal moisture that's blowing across in the wind and create what's called a cloud forest, where they capture 40% of the rain that falls in the ecosystems. And the issue we're facing is that these trees do not grow very fast. It takes them 7 years to reach 3 feet in height, so we're not able to replace the essential part of this ecosystem they provide with the level of harvesting that we're doing right now. And we're finding this not only affects the life cycle of the trees and their ability to be sustainable as a species, but also the ecosystem that other tribes, of the Bedouin tribes, for example, share and raise livestock in. And these ecosystems are suffering greatly from the loss of these trees and the damage that's being done through that. So how can we work with dragon's blood in a sustainable way to not be a part of this ecological collapse? And the first part is to ask your vendor who's selling you your dragon's blood if it's sustainably sourced. You can also tell if it's actual Dracaena cinnabari or Dracaena Draco versus being another plant we're going to see in a moment, depending on how it smells. If you cannot smell the resin when you're not burning it, it's not part of those 2 dragon trees we've already talked about, because they can only be smelled when burnt. If you can smell it through the wrapper, it has a fragrance without being burnt. It's from this guy, who's Calamus Draco, or a cousin of corn plant. And he looks fairly gnarly. If I had to go to a plant for protection and those type of workings, I would actually favor this over a typical dragon tree, because he just looks ready for war. You might also have specimens of dragon trees that live in your home. Lucky bamboo isn't actually bamboo, it's a species of dragon tree. It's kind of like deceiving. But if you want protection, he's already sitting in your window. Remember, these plants are all poisonous to cats and dogs, so it might not be friendly to your household depending on what type of animals you have. But they are pretty much everywhere. And you also have this really common guy, the corn plant, who these are like something you can find in any grocery store even that sells plants. So you can take them home and put them in windows and enjoy that companionship and that protective energy. Or this is also a family that we share with the dragon tree, common asparagus. Yeah, they're part of Asparagaceae, which is really funny. So that's all for today. We're going to get into next week about substitutes you can use that probably grow in your backyard. They have the same properties without any ecological harm, and I'll see you